Vinyl community, I'm back to the recent vinyl finds video, and this is just gonna be prog and psych all the way through. Probably one of the best updates I've ever done, like rare records wise, I believe at least. Super happy with all of these finds, but especially the ones in the end. I'm gonna show them, so the rarest stuff I'm gonna save for last. Now playing in the background, I hope it's not too loud, is Marcus Belgrave's Gemini 2 that I talked about in the last video in the jazz update. This is a full-blown masterpiece, so hopefully not too loud. I'm gonna turn a little bit down. Okay, so moving on. So I'm gonna start off with this. This is Horse, self-titled record. This is a reissue. Looks like that, of this heavy prog record. This was put out in like 70, I think 71 or 73, somewhere around that time. And the original press is hard to get. This is a early 90s reissue of this. Really good heavy prog. It reminds me a little bit of Sabbath. I don't know if that's even true, but it reminds me a little bit of Sabbath. I was super happy to find this Matching Mole Little Red record in a store, so I didn't have to buy this online. I've been looking for Matching Mole's records since I joined the VC and first started to know about them. I knew about Soft Machine. I've read about Soft Machine at least, and I knew about Robert Wyatt, but I had no idea about Matching Mole. So joined the VC many moons ago now. This has been on my radar ever since. So yeah, still need the second one. This is like a censored label. It's pretty neat. I think it's this CBS, old CBS or Columbia, and they okay. Yeah, glad to add that. Canterbury Prog. It's sounds like Soft Machine. It's really good. I think I'll wait with that one. All of you saw that, but fuck it. Because I haven't listened to it, and I have some stuff coming in the mail, so I'm gonna listen to that first. This, The Hobbits. Listened to this today actually, but it's been like 2-3 months since I got it. Down to Middle Earth, 1967, I think. On Decca, this is the first US press. They had a small hit with the song Daffodil Days, I think, which is a sunshine pop psych tune, and the entire record is like that. It's okay. It's a good, like, joyful record, you know. And I love everything Tolkien, so I have the Gandalf record also. I think it's whimsical and fantastic at the same time. Really cool. I wish it was a original press, obviously. Krautrock, Weed. This is also a reissue from the 80s, I think, and unfortunately not a gatefold. But the music is still there. It's a really good, more heavy prog record than really the traditional Kraut, in my opinion. Fantastic, all the way through. So check it out if you're into that sort of heavy prog shit. Okay, so now we get into the a little bit heavier stuff, and especially the early pressings, if not first pressings. And starting off with this, I was super happy to find an original copy of this. This is Jerry Easter and Judy Henske, Farewell Aldebaran. I have a gatefold, US first press on Straight Records. You all know that label. 1969. This is a folk psych record, more folk prog. More folk, just folk. A little bit experimental, especially on the song Farewell Aldebaran, the last song on the last side. But the thing here is the song Rapture. It's a fantastic song. Just check it out. And the first song, Snowblind, is also really good. this is, I mean, 4 out of 5 stars in my book. At least 4 out of 5 stars. I love this record. So I had a reissue. Now I have the original in great shape. The vinyl is in great shape. So I'm selling my other copy on Swedish eBay as we speak, actually. Okay, moving on to one record I've been looking for since I started collecting records. But I've looked for not looked for because you can't ever find it. But on my radar, especially the English version has been on my radar. But I also have had this on sort of a lookout. If I find it cheap, I'll get it, and I did. So this is SFSR, The Pretty Things, with this sort of gimmick cover that is quite famous. But the first English issue is even more famous for a very like sloppy made cover. I love it, but yeah. This was released in 1969 in the US. Now 1968, I think it was. Let's say it's 1968. They released the English version, and if I read correctly, and if they are right, they didn't promote the record in England, so it didn't sell, and they didn't. I mean, one of the band members did the cover artwork, which wasn't in the record's favor. And then when it came to the US and Rare Earth released it, they did the gimmick cover. And it said, and I read somewhere, that when you flip through records and you have a gimmick cover like this, it just goes into nothing. You know, you miss this record. You just flip through this record because it doesn't stick out as the other ones do. I don't know if that's true. It would be the other way around, in my opinion, if I flipped through a stack of records. But yeah, it didn't sell good, and it's a classic nowadays. It's a Psych masterpiece, SFSR, The Pretty Things. Everyone knows about that record that listens to Psych music. Another one that is on all the sort of, you know, the lists, and if people are doing like Psych lists, like the most important records, 50 most important records in the Psych genre, this is on there, and I'm super glad to add this to the collection. I've been looking for this for a while. 50-Foot Hose with Cauldron from 1968, I think, also, or 67, 68, 67, 68, 67, 68. Fuck, 67. I have no idea, but it's the original US press on Limelight, that awesome kind of Limelight label there. And Cauldron is a San Francisco based group, and you can really hear that on the sound. In my opinion, it sounds like a San Francisco group. I wrote on Instagram when I posted it that in my opinion it sounds somewhere between A Perfect Day and Hawkwind, because you have this kind of space rocky, bombastic sort of production over it, and it's also a little bit experimental. They use a lot of electronic and they do like tape loops and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think the Hawkwind thing with it comes from there. But I in my opinion, there's no doubt that this is like a West Coast record, US record. Okay. I think that's what I want to say about that. So moving on. This is one that I've had my eye on also. All these I've had my eye on. This is the introduction to every record I show today. But yeah, some people in the VC have got it, and I've been super jealous, and I've looking for it, and I've lucked out a couple of times on eBay and stuff like that. It's gone away in price, and I mean, I did the trade, and now it's mine. This is Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee by Gila, or Gila, I don't know how you pronounce that, 1973. And this is a supergroup of sorts. Gila made one record a year earlier, maybe 1 or 2 years earlier. And then some of the group members released this with members from Amundul and Popol Vuh. So it's a Krautrock record. A German first press on Warner. There you go. It's the ordinary Warner label. So you have Florian Fricke on this. It's a fantastic, fantastic record. It's a masterpiece of a Kraut record, but it's an easy to listen to Kraut record. It's a commercial Kraut record. Just like Pink Floyd has 70s material that is more easily accessible compared to the 60s material, if you know what I mean. So check it out if you thought that this sounded interesting and you don't know about the record. It's nothing like Popol Vuh, so you have these sort of soundtracks that they did to Herzog movies. It's not like that at all. It's more like songs and rock tunes. Yeah, and a concept record. Really good. Classic stuff. So moving on. 1, 2, 3, 4 to go. Yeah, man, shit. I was so glad to tick this off. But there's more records coming in the mail. And that's because when we did the trade, and I paid some money up for these records too, I actually got a first German press of Kant's Tagomago in perfect condition. Okay, so that was the thing that the seller said that he had. When I got it, I immediately, because he had a bunch of records, a lot of these Psych records I bought from that guy, or traded, and I had no, like, everything is first presses, and he's a huge collector. I had no reason to doubt him that this was not a first press. So I sort of paid almost a first press price, if you know what I mean. But on the label on the first press, it says on the rim, it says Liberty / United Artists Records GmbH Munich. But this says only United Artists, so this is a second press. And the second press was released in 1973, not 1971. And I talked with another collector here in Sweden of Psych material, and he said that this is a common mistake. A lot of people sell this as the first press because they don't know better, because everything else is the same. It's just that rim line of information that is United Artists, if I understood him correct, and Discogs and all the other places I could find information about this. And the same goes the other way around, I guess, that you could probably maybe find reissues being sold but actually are first pressings if it says Liberty / United Artists. So check that out. He was, I mean, this is still a rare record. It's still a pricey record. Maybe I paid the right price for a second issue, but that was not what I bought. So we made a deal, and he's sending 2 more records my way. And this guy, he's great. We seem to come along very nicely. He collects jazz nowadays. He collected Psych before. So I have a huge pile of stuff that he's going to sell over time that I can buy anytime I want from him. So I'm trying to save up some money now to invest in his collection, and we're talking like first pressings of the first 2 Kraftwerk records, Neu, Ashra Temple. Oh shit! Yeah, there were a bunch of stuff. So I'm trying to sell more stuff now so I can buy those super rare records. Okay, moving on. So, but I mean, owning this, a piece of, in my opinion, Kraut history, so close to the original source, like a second German press is fine with me. I'm super happy to have this. This is a masterpiece. Probably my favorite Krautrock record, and one of my favorite records of all time. Maybe in my top 20 even. So glad to add that to the collection. Moving on. Even rarer. Sorry, tomato soup. Even rarer is this Swedish record that it seems like no one knows about. When I talk about this with people, no one knows about it. But when it comes up for sale, it goes for big bucks. Pandora, Measure of Time from 1975. 74. 74. And this is a symphonic prog record from 1974. Let's say it's a Swedish Genesis record, but it's not really the whole truth. It's a great record. Really good musicians. They only did this record, nothing else. It's privately pressed. Don't think there were many hundred pressings of this. And yeah, super rare. Glad to add that to the collection. I didn't know about it, but I saw it online, I did a research, and I bought it very cheaply. If you compare it to what it goes for. So don't tell anyone. But now I know about it. So okay, the next one. This is probably my favorite record of all the records when it comes to the music. And I kid you not, I've played this to death since I got it. The first thing I do when I get to work is play this entire record from YouTube in its entirety. There's not a single bad song on it, and yeah, it's a perfect pop record, pop psych record. And I'm talking about The Smoke. It's Smoke Time. This was released in 1967. It's a freak beat record, I think someone labeled it as. English group, so there's an American group called The Smoke also. They only did one record too, I think. These guys only made one record also, but this is the English group. It's Smoke Time with The Smoke. They had a hit single in Germany that was called My Friend Jack. So they released their full-length album on Metronome in Germany in 1967, and nothing else. So no more pressings because it didn't sell anything else. It was even banned in some countries because of the drug-related lyrics and obvious drug relation on the cover, like it's Smoke Time. But the music is very pop psyche, very you know, you're glad when you listen to this. So banned in different countries. They only released this in Germany, and in the 70s they reissued this in Germany, but then it was called My Friend Jack, so after the hit single. But there's, like, as I said, every single song is a very good, very strong song. It's hard to pick a favorite amongst them. Check this out. I urge you really to check this out. And super rare nowadays. Okay, so a fun collecting story. When I was 8 years old, maybe, me and I had a crate of records I got from my dad when he bought the CD player at our home. So I got the record player and his records. So a bunch of Status Quo and Creedence records, and Abbott, I think, and some disco and stuff like that. So we went to my uncle's home. He lived in a home for mentally ill people, and he still does to this day, because he had some brain damage when he was born. And he had a crate of records. So when I was like 8 years old, he gave me a bunch of records that he didn't play anymore, and this was in there, along with like Hanoi Rocks, and there was something else. So all my life I've carried this record along with me with his records. And when I was like 20, 22, something like that, I played it again. I didn't think it was good. There had a lot of writing, and half the backside of it was missing, and very beat copy. But I actually put it out on eBay or Swedish eBay for some stupid reason, and it sold like $30 or something like that. And that was really the starting point of me knowing that, okay, so shit, I can buy records really and sell them for a profit. People are actually buying this stuff. And at the same time I was collecting records myself, but not really doing any research. I mean, this is 17 years ago now. So yeah, fun story. And now let's say I paid more than $30 for this. but not much more, but more than 30 bucks. Great record, check it out. And now to the last one. It's a long video, I'm sorry, but the last one. This is the grail, really. A first German press on Vertigo of Agitation Freeze Malek, I don't know, gatefold, backside, and the famous swirl label. There's the front of the label. And yeah, I mean, obviously this has been on my want list forever. A Krautrock masterpiece from 1971. Pretty sure it's 1971. But I never thought I would own a copy of an early press, maybe a reissue I was going to buy someday, but not a early press, even less a original first press from Germany. But this guy, he had this. He wanted to trade it with a bunch of jazz records that I have that I didn't play that much. So I just I made the decision to do the trade. I had to put out for these, like I'm gonna, I think it was 7 records in total. I had to give up 5 jazz records and some money, and one of the jazz records was a really rare one, and I got dirt cheap many years ago now. And I know I'm gonna miss that record, so I have ordered a reissue of that so I can play the music. But I know I'm gonna miss that record because I'm never gonna find another one, original copy of that. But then again, hopefully when I think of that record, I will think about this, because this is a rare record and it's good. I'm gonna play this more than that record. And in the end of at the end of the day, I mean, I think that hopefully that's what counts. I love the light blue color on the front cover, along with this red that goes over to the yellow here. It's so wrong, it's perfectly right. It's just so damn nice. But that's it. Shit, a long video. Hope you enjoyed it. I have some jazz coming up when I play them, but it can take some time before I show them. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Just write them down below and I'll try to answer them as quick as I can. And have a great day. Bye. Oops.